And whoever said you don't need a friend, they was lying to you. They were lying to me too. They were lying, period. Hey y'all, it's Jania and welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna be talking all about friendship, so let's just get right into the video. First, we're gonna start off with defining friendship. What is friendship anyway? So Webster's definition of friendship is one attached to another by affection or esteem. So essentially, friendship is just a bond or relationship that you create with someone else. When it comes to me, I've always been a person that values friendship so much so that I wanted a whole bunch of friends. I wanted everybody to like me, which I think is normal when you're younger. But somewhere I think I lost my way because it came into idolizing friendship or just obsessing over how many friends I had, who liked me today, all that stuff that is not important. But yeah, that's just kind of how I was, and I realized a couple years ago that I really didn't have a godly definition of what friends were, nor did I know really what God designed friendship to be. That led me to befriending people I probably shouldn't have been friends with, letting people in my circle that I probably shouldn't have. That's what I think we forget sometimes when we don't allow God to come into situations, be it a romantic relationship or a friendship. We're not giving him the full reins to be in the middle of it, and we're not trusting him enough to know that, okay, this is the person you should be hanging around, this is the person you should not be hanging around. Sometimes our desire for things can come from a very genuine place, but after a while we start obsessing over that desire or placing it over God. So we always have to be mindful to submit things back to God and allow him to change how we feel about the thing we're obsessing over so we can put it in its rightful place. And the word says these are the characteristics of a good friend. You have to be a friend to have a friend. In Luke 6:31 it says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So if you want to have a good friendship, a strong friendship, a godly friendship, you need to be a strong godly friend. So that could be something as small as if you know that you have a problem with patience and listening to people, maybe you start asking God to build up your patience, because when you are in a friendship with someone, especially a godly friendship or a kingdom-centered friendship, you're gonna have to have patience because we're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. You're not perfect. So having patience is gonna be something that you need, or whatever it is for you. Go to God and ask him to help you with that so you can be a good friend to somebody else. And think about it. Are you nice? Are you kind? All these things you're wanting in a friendship, are you those things already? And if you are, then just continue building up that. And if you're not, work on it. It's okay. We all have to start from somewhere. So a second godly characteristic of a friend is they are reliable. Reliable. I know we all have some people that have not been necessarily the most reliable. So yes, the next point is your friends should be reliable. In Proverbs 18:24 it says, one who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin. It literally says an unreliable friend makes the other friend you're gonna go into ruin, you're gonna be just doomed if you have a friend that's unreliable. So if you have a friend that every time you need something, they're never there to help you, or they just seem emotionally unavailable, when you come to them with things that you need help on, it may be time to cut that tie. If they're not a reliable person and you are, that's not gonna gel really well together. And I can speak from experience. Sometimes we want people to step up and be reliable because they are our friends, but we have to realize they're not showing you that. It may be time for y'all to go y'all separate ways. But you don't want to be around somebody that every time you need something, they're never there for you, but every time they need something, you're there for them, you're giving, you're doing. So your friend should be reliable, and that's what the word says. Second part of that verse says, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. And obviously I think the Bible is referring to Jesus. Jesus is our friend that sticks closer than our brother ever could. So I feel like it just all comes back to our relationship with him and our friends being an image of or a mirror of the relationship that we have with Jesus. Obviously not as close, but I think it is supposed to be a reflection of your relationship with God. So if your friend is there for you, they have your back, they're loyal, that's the person you want to keep around. So now that we've gone over what friends are, we're gonna go over what friends are not. First thing I have is I put friends are not people who gossip. This could be about you, about anybody. And I know you're like, girl, you're being a hypocrite. Yes, of course we've all gossiped, but I feel like the older you get and the more mature you get in your faith, it kind of, how do I want to say this? Gossiping is just not building up of the other person or of you, and it's kind of pointless if you're not gonna go tell that person or if you have a critique for them and you're not going to tell them like in a helpful, positive way, then it's pointless to talk about it. Now, I know this will be something that we'll all struggle with for the rest of our lives, but I feel like if we just keep it in our mind that this is not something that pleases God, that he wants us to do, to talk about other people, and then like how would you feel if it was you, we just have to like remind ourselves like not to gossip and not to be around people that gossip. And the Bible also mentions this, and I will put the verse somewhere in here. So a good friend is not somebody that gossips, period. A characteristic of a friend that is not good is someone who is hot-tempered or easily angered. And the Bible talks about easily angered people being pretty much like fools. So if they got a temper, you probably may want to steer clear of them. It's kind of like, I feel like I was in a situation where I felt like I had a friend that was kind of like aggressive, and I thought maybe like hanging around me, I'm just chill and I try to keep the peace, maybe that'll change them. But people, God has to change people, and you can only be an example, but sometimes you need to be an example from afar. So a good friend is not somebody who is easily angered or is hot-tempered. Like, stay away from them. And then lastly, a good friend is not someone who does not care about your well-being. If they're your friend, they should care what happens to you. They should be involved in your life. And I know these are going to be to certain degrees depending on how close you are with the person, but on a basic level, they should care about you. That you're safe, healthy, doing well emotionally, physically, spiritually, all that, they should care at least the basic level. If they don't, I don't think that's a good friend. Like, we should be able to give each other that at minimum. So if you see any friendships that are maybe exhibiting those negative traits, it may be time to let it go, pray about it, and see if God even wants you to be in that friendship. Because I will say sometimes we get ourselves into friendships that God never said to get into in the first place. And that, I'm smiling because that's me. I would just be like, oh, people are here, like it's time to be friends, like everybody's cool. That's kind of problematic. God has certain people assigned to you and vice versa that you're supposed to grow with, build a community with, be friends with. And some people are just not meant to be your friends, and that just kind of is what it is. The last thing I'm going to leave you guys with is if you are looking for friends and you don't know what to do to find them. So I will say I kind of struggle with this too. I'm a person that kind of is like, I like to be at home, but then I also like to do things out. So I'm gonna try to start forcing myself to go out so I can meet people more. Like, I watch church online now, but I'm probably gonna sign up for the in-person, well, going in person, so I can hopefully join like a different part of the church that deals with like your gifts, like maybe greeting or hospitality or whatever, because I'm pretty sure that's a good way to meet people. So if you are struggling with meeting people, getting up and getting out is probably going to be the best thing you could do to put yourself in a situation to meet people. Not saying that God can't just send you friends, because he can, but also sometimes he is calling for us to just like go out and do the things that he's allowing us to do. So go out. And if you're going out to church specifically, like join a, I can't think of the word, join a certain ministry, like worship ministry, children's ministry, greeting. Like I said, any of those would probably be like the first step to finding a good community, a good group of friends or a community. The second thing I'm gonna do, and y'all hold me accountable, because I said I was gonna go to church and join a ministry, so y'all check back in with me. And the second thing I recommend is if you're kind of lonely and you're wanting God to give you friends, to pray more specifically about that. Now, I have not done well at this. I feel like I will pray about it ever so often, but I will be like, oh, okay, no, I'm good. But if God put that desire in you to want to have more friends and to be surrounded by godly people, go ahead and pray for that. You can be honest, and you should not feel guilty if you have friends already and you're like, oh, I don't want to meet any more friends, because what if you're holding back a blessing God has for you by meeting someone else new? So whoever said no new friends, Drake, that's a lie too, because if God wants you to meet new friends, those new friends may be better to you than people you've already known. So don't cut yourself off. Don't say that, oh, I don't need any more friends. Unless you legitimately, like, your hands are full with your community and you can't even keep up with all the people in your life, that's totally understandable. But if you're like desiring and wanting more friends, don't be afraid to pray for that, out of fear that you will lose your old friends or you will make them feel a certain way, because it's your life and you want to surround yourself with the people that God has put in your path to be with. But I just wanted to come to y'all talking about friendships and to debunk certain things. I think as a Christian, as you walk through life, you do need friends, and godly friends at that are going to help build you up and encourage you and keep you going on the journey. And don't be afraid to make new friends. So the no new friends is dead. I won't say that anymore either, because I think, of course, I sang it when it came out, but we are welcoming everything God has for us, be it friendships, whatever he has for us, we're accepting, y'all. Okay, so thank y'all so much for watching, and I appreciate all of you guys for subscribing, and I will see y'all in the next video.